is the Rangers one. And beside him, Charbonnier, who celebrates his birthday today. So not only the Marseillaise might come from the Rangers supporters, but a little celebration of that birthday as well. And what a goalkeeper he's turned out to be. By the way, Alan, the French press, some journalists in the French press were telling me that 90% of the press was supporting his action and walking out of the French squad because he said, this is a very loyal man. He gave his loyalty during the World Cup, helped out enormously, even though he never came off the bench, as it were, and then suddenly he's discarded.
Well, I mean, I think if a player had done it in this country, I think they might have a different attitude towards him. He is a very good goalkeeper. He looks good for 45, doesn't he? But actually, I think he's only 32 today. But he's obviously well thought of in France. And when he's come here, nobody really knew who he was, but he has proven that he is a good goalkeeper to replace Andy Gorham.
It's nice to see the two players, Jimmy Sanderson, Colin Henry, acting as old failures, just bringing them out there for a day these young lads will never forget. Tremendous reception by both sets of supporters. And the Rangers supporters who, because of success, are asked to pay out handsomely to see a lot of football, have turned up today to support a team that has done a great job, a great commercial job, you might say, for themselves and perhaps as a byproduct for Scottish football with that performance a week. And they're the Airdrie support. Well, they've come to Celtic Park before, they've been in finals. There's a great deal of experience in that side, and Kenny back, of course. And there, Giovanni Van Bronckhorst, I saw him playing against Hearts when he was absolutely splendid, as he was the other night, where he is a sound technical player.
Big integral part of the team, major part of the team.
And there's John Martin. Now, loyalty is sometimes an overused word, but this man, I think, personifies it better than any other professional player. 750 games. He once played for a month for Albion Rovers, which in the Monklands area is almost an act of treachery, but he came back very quickly on that, and he is in goal today.
Well, 750 appearances is quite unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah, the Rangers officials there, Dick Advocat, are the Rangers subs today. Look at that substitute bench, Al.
Terrible, isn't it?
They'll be in trouble if they bring any of them on.
Exactly. I'll tell you, good news as well that Arthur Newman's looking to come back. Well, good news for Advocat, certainly. Maybe not so good for Tony Vidmar.
Alan McDonald, you've seen it all before, wearing Rangers blue and as manager of Airdrie. And they're the subs there. And off we go into a game, of course, that means so much. Alan McDonald has a splendid CV to show anybody. He's reached 2 Scottish Cup finals and 4 League Cup semi-finals in his time with Airdrie. But there's one significant omission. He's still to record a win against his former club. Free kick. First touch of the ball there for Scott Wilson. Vidmar. One wonders just how long Vidmar is going to last in this Rangers team with Arthur Newman on the bench today. Newman, of course, an internationalist, must be the favourite to take back over.
Yeah, but I will say he was very, very good on Thursday night, and it's only performances like that that can, try to keep him. If Newman has a poor, start when he comes back, that Tony can get back in the team again.
Wallace. Drawn way back to the halfway line with that, Perini.
We'll say the Airdrie are packing the midfield, absolutely packing it, leaving Steve Cooper almost up front on his own, really, and trying to give Rangers no space in that midfield to, control this game completely.
Well, as Kanchelskis not getting the kind of service which brings out the best in him, not with his back to go. He's got to be facing it, moving very quickly beyond the full back. That was meant for Alberts. First move by Airdrie. Henry tried to go in there, taken away here by Alan Moore. Tries to go to the outside of Henry, and the referee says it's a throw. Referee, of course, Kenny Clark. Refereed Airdrie once and Rangers twice this season already. Way by Vidmar. Ferguson, quick in the uptake again. That's the kind of ball that this man likes. As Alan pointed out, there's a great deal of pace in this Rangers team, coming from all angles. Trying to get the early ball in and overrunning it. I'm not sure that we've seen the very best of this man yet for Rangers.
No, I think that's a fair assessment as well, Andy. Archie, rather. I think that I mean, he struggled actually. I mean, he's got a hand cast on at the moment. He's struggled with injuries and things, and I think even, you know, to get back into your top performance and get that pace back, most definitely there's more to come from Andrew Chelsea's.
Seemed like a push there by Scott Wilson indeed. Referee stopping the play. As I said, the surface is good. There should be a good passing there. There's Deg Advocat. He's had a great deal of success. Came through the Dutch coaching school under the great Rinus Michels, and has brought some of that wisdom with him. But he's still to win something, and he knows that. Airdrie's first foray downfield, trying to pick up Paul McGrillen on the left-hand side there. Paul McGrillen was signed by Airdrie after the game, which opened their new ground, a splendid new ground, by the way, and if you haven't been there yet, you should try and go. It's marvellous. Johansson, Van Broek has beautifully sprayed out. Now Vedmar.
It's a great ball.
Just beyond Wallace. I think played a little bit too much to his left-hand side.
Yeah, a little bit. That's what Airdrie will have to watch, though. They were actually pressing the ball and got caught down that left-hand side. It's okay to try and, you know, restrict the space that Rangers will get in midfield, but when they're going to go forward and they lose the ball, that's when Rangers will have them playing counter-attacking football.
Well, Kanchelskis is a winger, not a defender, and that was a typical winger's tackle on Paul McGrillen again.
But I tell you, you'll be happy with that, because you're looking for Paul McGrillen, who's got a little bit of pace down there. He's playing sort of on the flanks. They've got Moore on one side, Paul on the other side, spearheaded by Steve Cooper, and they'll be looking for him to take players on and get fouls around there, so they can deliver the ball in the box for Cooper.
Kenny Black, very poor one. I think in situations like that, they've got to be performing very soundly. They've got to get the basic things right.
Absolutely.
That's in there by Marvin Wilson, scorer of the goal, and here he comes again. Nice move there by Airdrie, and the man who scored that goal against Celtic, drifting towards the box.
Set up nice for Marvin, isn't it? He scored in the last couple. It'd be nice for him to get the winner today.
Really slightly fortunate to get away with that. I think Donald speaking to him the other week. Irrepressible, hasn't changed at all in the day. He was a great nabber of goals themselves in the box.
Absolutely, and tenacity, and I think it's shown in the Airdrie team. Having said that, maybe not so much in the league, but certainly in the cup competition. He wasn't speaking to me today when we arrived, because I said that we're going to get beat 5-0, but he's done really exactly what I said. He definitely hasn't played the three up front, and it could be quite tight today.
You mean managers treat you like that as well?
No, outrageous, isn't it?
Now Johansson. Well, John Martin there had a serious injury a couple of years ago, recovered from that. When he was a schoolboy, he was in Hearts' books, and there's a very strong connection between this Airdrie side and Hearts. That was a bad one. Look at the pace of Johansson. He might put this away. I think he's going to do it. Yes! Rangers have opened the scoring. And that was a dreadful goal for a defence to lose. I mean, that is like committing suicide, and Johansson put Rangers 1 up.
Well, it was a terrible kick out from Martin. It's a shame, isn't it? 750 appearances, you can go and do something like that. But I tell you, Johansson didn't switch off. He could have had his back to goal. It's possible a goalkeeper can do that. He showed great pace, nicked in between. And Egan, he put them in every day. He gets in between here, he shows really good pace. Thanks very much, bang. And it's 1-0, and that's exactly the start that Alan McDonald didn't want.
Well, I think you balanced that nicely, because it was a dreadful defensive error. But on the other hand, the young lad did very well. And he certainly is beginning to nick the goals now. There's no question at all about that.
I think that's the last, has it scored 4 in the last, yes, 1 in the last 4?
Well, that's his 7th goal of the season. That's not bad for a man who's been drafted into a position where he wasn't established in the first place.
Well, that's exactly Archie, isn't it? I mean, he's by no means first-team choice initially, anyway, and he's almost made that part his own, and if he keeps scoring goals, there's no way Advocat can leave.
It's a lovely ball again, and Johansson almost in on top of that. Beautiful move again by Ferguson, and so very typical of the way he's played this season. Good link up from the middle.
Yeah, great link. It was a good run in between. He's actually if anything, just a little bit caught a breath. It's early in the game. He'll still be waiting for his second win after that great run for the goal. Good ball in by Ferguson. I'll tell you, if that had been 20 minutes later, Johansson would have caught that.
Well, can Airdrie come back from that? I think it was stressed before the game that was any goal of any kind. It's going to be difficult for Airdrie to come back if they conceded something in the first 15 minutes. Now they want to fight. Nicely picked up there. Austin McCann came through, and there is Henry. Bobby Wilson got in possession too often, and look at the gap appearing here. Johansson again. He has Wallace in the box. And a sting taken out of that by Jimmy Sanderson. Big German having a go at it again. And you wondered about this big man. I think he has his strengths like the shot when he controls it, as he didn't there. But for a man of his size and height, he loses the ball a lot in the tackle, and it's not all that good in the air.
So you'll be happy with that, Archie. No, I think sometimes he can be a bit lazy, and I think he almost does enough. It's that kind of attitude he has. I think he maybe has a little bit more than that, but I think it's more important. I think when Dick Advocat was waiting for Van Bronckhorst to be ready the other night, he's happier with him wide, because I don't think he thinks that Alberts has the pace to play in that position and prefers him inside. Just a little bit quick about Airdrie losing the first goal. If they were going to lose the first goal, I don't honestly believe if they were going to lose a goal in the game at all in normal play, that's probably the way they thought they wouldn't lose a goal, by a mistake from Martin like that.
Ferguson. Well, his turn in midfield, which I think is now becoming one of his trademarks, the way he's able to turn very quickly in a tight spot, as he did against the Germans the other night to produce that first goal. That paid off there almost until his final ball. Free kick, quickly taken there. Played out here, Austin McCann, given away. That's very slack indeed. Just tucked away there by Anthony Smith. Again, another ex-Heart signing, originally. Now Ferguson. Taking his time, making sure he got the ball in the free. Once again, McCann coming down the right-hand side. Vidmar caught out of position. Picked up here by Alan Moore. Just a little bit too hard. Once again, McGrillen is in there, and back comes Van Bronckhorst. Touched back by Wilson. Jimmy Sanderson deciding to come forward. There he is, just on the edge of the box. Sandy Stewart. A man with a lot of appearances for Airdrie. Over 300 in all. All just taken away from him. They've really got to break out. If Rangers were to score another goal now, Alan, I think it's going to be even more difficult than it now is.
I think difficult is an underestimation. I think it would be almost an impossibility. But I mean, you know, 1-0 down, okay, they know it's going to be difficult. There's no reason for them that they can't get back in here. Rod holding the ball up well there. Certainly tenacity in the tackle.
So, free kick. Tony Vidmar, Australian. Dick Advocat talking about him on Friday at his press conference, praised him very highly for the way he's improved this game. There he is. Sanderson. Well, Alan Moore's pace, but again, crowded out by the two Rangers players. Andy Stewart putting it down. That's a bit of piece of play by Airdrie. McGrillen has switched wings. Forced the cut back though. And so far there's been hardly any pressure on Rangers' central defence, except when almost self-inflicted like that.
The problem is when they're playing with one striker up front, even when McGrillen or Moore goes down the flanks, when they're looking to play the ball into the middle, there's sometimes too many blue shots round about, Steve, and they don't really want to get the ball into the middle for the sake of giving it away.
Well, that was almost 50-50 there, I think. Benefit of the doubt to the defender, as it normally is under these circumstances, but that's a free kick. The man at the back there was Anthony Smith. I've said about this Airdrie player, he's a local boy, very much an Airdrie supporter. Father, an ex-professional. Sanderson. a little bit too slack there. And you wonder if the Rangers support, both here and at home, are sitting back waiting for the proverbial avalanche. But, you know, there are difficult games to come up. They've got to get this one out of the way. And I think even if it were to end 1-0, they'd be reasonably satisfied.
Well, I think so. I think the main aim here, and I think it's been proven by Advocat's team. This is the team that had a superb result midweek, and he's wanted the same result to put them into the final of the League Cup. And I think Bobby Robinson hit the head on the nail as well, and we were talking before, the only people that put this competition down are the people that are not in it, and I'm sure that they would swap places right now with Airdrie or Rangers to win the semi-final.
Sandy Stewart to take it. Neat little touch across here, and almost coming in there, Austin McCann.
That's where they can get, you know, a little bit of success, because Steve Cooper wins a lot of balls in the air. It was a good run by Austin McCann in behind them, and they've got to take a chance there, because Big Steve in the middle, he'll win his fair share of headers there, and they could get a bit of success like that, Airdrie.
Ferguson claims for handling there. Scott Wilson giving it away though. Play to the outside, and there's a shot by Moore. And that was that little piece of hesitation right in the middle of the Rangers defence, where here he played the ball over elaborate with the ball.
Well, that's just complete complacency there by Scott Wilson. You didn't see him do that at all. He wants to play, maybe never empty to show, maybe no movement for him, and Alan Moore not that far away, really.
Different sort of game though. You
well,
have to do a different role. I think it just means a little bit too casual now. They're one up and playing against a team from the lower division, and maybe that has affected him, at least temporarily. High one. Wallace did well with that, but nobody behind him. Away by Jack. Alperini. Good a position that Ferguson took up there, very tight, but close down to him. That was Paul McGrillen coming back. Ferguson looking way wide, and I think it crossed his mind to sweep that away out to Vidmar. Look how deep Kanchelskis is. Well, he wants to pass over the load to Perini and go down where he ought to be found, and he is now. Worked out beautifully from Johansson. Can he cut it back? He can, and away from Van Bronckhorst. Well, that was so obvious. You would have thought the Airdrie defence on the left would have read it, the way that Kanchelskis strolled and then bust into a sprint. Very good plays. That was pushed out by Steve Cooper. He did that well. Now Moore, as I say, being caught too often in possession, and I think the referee judging there was an elbow there, and offside in any case. Assistant referee away in the far side. Well, we're talking about the astute move in bringing him to Ibrox. I think he must feel his fallen into the river and come out with a prize salmon, the way things have ended up for him. Just beyond Sandy Stewart. Vidmar taking a little time over that. There's too much space by Airdrie's midfield, allowed there to Ferguson and now to Kanchelskis. Up comes Alberts. And knocking the ball about, as we expected and anticipated, in exactly the same way as they would play against any opposition. Scott Wilson tries to tuck it there to Wallace, and now the shot by Van Bronckhorst. Well, it almost looked like a kind of slow motion move that time, but well, you see the way he picked it up.
He manufactured that well, the Rangers. Good ball in. Rod Wallace held the ball up well from Bronckhorst. I think Rod maybe even tried to play it even more in front of him, but good save by Big Martin Ingalls. You see a good ball by Rod Wallace, and Bronckhorst maybe didn't get everything behind it. Big John had made a good save.
Van Bronckhorst, who does all the corner kicks from either side, and that was hit it. Not just with a great deal of slicing it with power.
Magnificent corner. Driven, curled, pace. Almost impossible to defend.
Back he goes again. aggressive with either foot too. He can swing it in with his right foot as well. As I said, he was a technically very sound player in Martin. Another little touch, another corner kick. And I must say Van Bronckhorst must cover more space than anybody else in running from side to side.
Yeah, but when he's thrown in corners like that, and he can do it with both feet, then you wouldn't ask anybody else to take them. It's a good ball in deep. Martin has to come. You see how far out of his goal is just to push it away. Does well, the big man, because Scott Wilson's out at the back post.
Takes this left-footed, and it's beyond Colin Henry, taken away by McGrillen. Great deal of experience with Falkirk and Motherwell before he came to I was about to say Broomfield, but
not anymore.
Alberts. Looking for Van Bronckhorst, that is just beyond it. Also McCann giving very good support at the back. And that was a touch more positive about Scott Wilson. I think he's learned from that little mishap he almost had earlier on. He said, "I'm not taking any prisoners this time," and maybe that's too literal an expression.
Yeah. Well, he's certainly gone in heavy here on Alan Moore, hasn't he? Alan, yeah, his knee has just buckled under a little bit there. Hope he's okay. You see he's going down in a little bit of pain, though. That's not good news for Airdrie.
Fair tackle, though.
Oh yeah, most definitely. He's gone in heavy. He's won the ball. He's gone straight through. He's quite entitled to do that. He was probably getting a little bit out of his system from the complacency he showed earlier on. You can just see his knee right there.
Both of them actually.
I think he'll be all right. I hope he's going to be all right.
Well, I think some of the most serious injuries, and you've had them yourself, Alan, in the past when you were with Bayern.
I don't like to talk about knee injury.
Happened to the knees.
Yeah, it did. Although the way he is there, actually, you can see, I think it'd be fair to say, he's obviously twisted that, and he's holding the inside, so it's his medial ligament, and if his medial's gone, then you can forget about Alan Moore taking any other part of this game. Yeah,
I was talking to one of the sports specialists during the World Cup, and he was saying the knee injuries are increasing on the continent more and more now. One, because of the number of games being played, and secondly, because of the pitches out there, which are harder and firmer, and much more likely to make knees susceptible to twist.
Well, I think as well, which is fair to say, I think the game has become, in special areas of the park, you know, a little bit quicker and things. And when you've got players going quicker and stopping sharper and turning in directions, then your joints are going to take a fair brunt of the weight, and that does not look good.
And you know, you don't want this. You certainly don't want this. This is an awful blow there to Airdrie, given that they've lost an early goal in about 7 minutes. And now we're going to have a substitution. It looks to me like Forbes Johnson is about to come on.
Well, Forbes plays in that right-hand side. I saw him play with Falkirk as well in the right-hand side midfield. It will almost be like for like, although the problem is I don't think he's got the pace of Alan Moore down that right-hand side. And he'll just sit in where he was. And well, Moore's a great lad as well. I'm sorry to see that, because he does bring so much to Airdrie. And the way they were playing today, with McGillen pace on the left, Moore on the right, Steve Cooper up front, that's a little bit of a blow to Alan McDonald's plans.
Well, Bob Johnson coming on now this is a tragic side for Airdrie, as it is in any game when a Ferg is off, with what is obviously, I hope not, but what looks like a serious injury, a serious knee injury. Well, Alan McDonald, I think, will have confidence enough in his players, maybe reacting very positively in adverse situations like this. Bob Johnson just preparing to come on. That's down there by Ferguson. There's Jimmy Sanderson sweeping at the back as usual. Airdrie playing almost uniquely this system in the game. And that just picked up by Ferguson. Kanchelskis can't get there in time. Ferguson does now. Kanchelskis beyond the defence. Johansson just inside him. Nicked away though very well by Anthony Smith, playing very well in defence for Airdrie. Now can they come back? Certainly fight hard. The manager personifies that. Well, the Airdrie substitute is waiting to come on, but I think Ian Ferguson is also preparing to come on for Rangers. And it's going to be interesting. I think it may be Van Bronckhorst. Alberts it is. Alberts. Up comes Alberts. Ian Ferguson comes on, and Alberts simply goes straight up the tunnel. I watched Ian Ferguson at Ibrox after the Hearts game when he went out into the terracing. He didn't play in that game, and he ran up and down the terracing steps. He wanted to keep as much sharpness as he can, even though he's not getting the games.
Yeah, we can only presume there, Archie, that Alberts has obviously pulled a muscle, hamstring or something that he can't go on, but it's like for like. Ian Ferguson just playing exactly the same position Alberts plays in.
Look at the space for Perini. Wallace going in, there's Kanchelskis. Decided to go on his own there. And a foul by Ian Ferguson. First touch. I was about to say the first touch of the ball, but first touch of the opponent. Would have been on about 60 seconds. And I think, folks, Johnson, who if he doesn't make it in football, will always have a law career in front of him, being a graduate. And on he comes, man freed by Falkirk, very versatile player. And I suppose again epitomises the way that Alec MacDonaldson has to go for the bargain basement player.
Unfortunately, he doesn't have the millions, does he, that Rangers had. And to be fair, I think he's done very well, Alan McDonald, with the players he's managed to get. And Forrest Johnson's, okay, he's not a first-team regular by any means, but it's a great chance for him today to show he's worthy of a place then.
That's Scott Wilson. Well, Colin Henry's first touch there rather let him down, and I'll tell you what, there's absolutely no feeling of inferiority about the Airdrie players when they dig in the way that Paul McGrillen did here. You might be captain of Scotland and Rangers, but I'm not hanging about for you sort of thing.
That's exactly what Paul McGrillen's got to do. You've got to upset them, you've got to put them out of rhythm, shut them down as much as they can, and most of all, let them know you're there. And it's a good challenge by Paul McGrillen there. I'd like to see that from the strikers.
Now Johansson, fair turn of pace again by the young lad. He has a kind of gawky appearance about him, Johansson, but he seems to have been able to discipline himself a little bit. I know some Rangers supporters have wrote him off totally, but they're not doing that now.
I'm sure he'll be given the biggest pat of the back of all time, and if he keeps scoring goals, I'm sure he can no problem win over the Rangers fans, and that's what he's doing right now. Good for his own confidence as well, the fact he's been given a sustained run in the team, and he's replying Dick Habakat right now with another goal today. 1-0 up, they've played almost 25 minutes.
Kanchelskis. Well, a slow, measured build-up by Rangers here on the right. Absolutely no disrespect to Airdrie in the way they're trying to pull themselves back into the game. We get the feeling that Rangers are now playing well within themselves. They have other gears to operate on.
See what happens now, even though it looks as though Rangers are very comfortable on the ball, Airdrie are working so hard, Archie, that there is no pass on for them almost, as was, you saw there with Wallace just heading the ball on to nobody.
Kanchelskis. That blistering turn of pace, there's Johansson in the box. Found it difficult to gather it, and up came Ian Ferguson, just about a yard off the pace there. At Broncos, now Bidmar. Ferguson, beautiful little touch inside, and that's superb play. And that's the difference between this man this season and last season.
Most definitely, did really well there. He could have played the ball in and just watched the beautiful hack heel by Ferguson, but he followed on. You see the ball in here, good play by Ferguson, bang. Good confident play by Vidmar there. Big John did well to get his body behind it.
Jack delaying that just a little bit, and I think Perini had his eye on that. He knew exactly how that would be angled away to the left-hand side. Kanchelskis. One thing about we've seen about Kanchelskis through the years, he doesn't really relish the hard tackle. He likes to keep clear of stern defenders. Well, he beat Vidmar to the jump there that time. Not a bad effort there by Forbes Johnson, in the sense that he got in for it. Ferguson, another little push. Well, you always say about Fergie, he does like to establish his imprint in the game. He's that kind of player.
Put it about a bit. And certainly you're guaranteed that from Ian Ferguson. 100% effort that boy will give you.
Rushing right into that, Marvin Wilson. Again, Marvin Wilson very much the local boy in the side. True Airdrieonian through and through. Tell me he doesn't want to play for any other club, but I think if Bayern came along and offered him, he might change his mind.
Just a bit.
Nice little chip in there by Van Bronckhorst. Al Ferguson. Kanchelskis a little bit puzzled how to end that move. Oh, slackness there. I think Van Bronckhorst might have imagined that Perini was going to take off just that little bit sooner.
I'd like to have seen that was a great opportunity for Kanchelskis there to go one-on-one with Austin McCann. Chose to come inside. And I would rather have seen Kanchelskis having a go at him down the line and show us a bit of pace.
Perini coming right across the player, but the referee having none of it. A mild protest, I think, by the Airdrie players. Well, you can hear the Airdrie supporters just underneath us. They are in no way dispirited. You can hear they're making more noise. I think probably the Rangers support sitting back waiting for more. Well, certainly hasn't materialised. Still 1-0. Kanchelskis. And you've got to pay credit to Airdrie. They've hung in there tenaciously. Haven't bothered the Rangers goal all that much, but they're still there. Only 1 goal margin. Perini. No pressure on that Rangers defence at the back. Scott Wilson. Johansson drove it down very well, and that's meant for Kanchelskis, and I think he parted with it just a trifle too early. Black inside, picked up by Wilson. Yes, I think Colin Henry imagined that was his ball, the big man who said that he'll be rather different at Ibrox in as much as he won't be under the same kind of pressure he was with Blackburn. No, but he has to alter and adjust his game a bit.
Yeah, he does, but he was right. That was a Rangers throw in there.
Certainly, Austin McCann and Wilson have been working very hard in midfield without much success. Van Bronckhorst parts with it beautifully now. Kanchelskis. He wants to go himself, and out comes John Martin, the man who turns 40 next Tuesday, narrowing angle brilliantly.
Yeah, well, Van Bronckhorst did really well there. You're expecting this to hit the back of the net. Big John Martin, a great save. Superb ball through by Giovanni Van Bronckhorst. Kanchelskis using his pace, pulls the trigger, but a great save by John Martin.
Again, the Dutchman with the corners, a lot of swing in it. And you might have thought that 1 or 2 of the Rangers players in the box, gauging what Van Bronckhorst is now doing, would have been further and deeper for the corner kicks.
Could be a coach. It could be a coach. That's it. Every corner kick he's taken from that side has gone deep, curling in, and they're coming in too late. Not only that, they're probably standing in the wrong place, but that's 3 corners now, and they've all gone to the same place, and the guys haven't read that.
Kanchelskis off the back of the head this time. Free kick. Kick offside, quickly taken and too quickly. I'll tell you who's very subdued, Kenny Black. I haven't seen too much of Kenny. You know, I was Looking forward to Ian Ferguson now going for a 50-50 ball.
That might happen yet, don't worry. Plenty of time to go. But I think really he's been given the job, obviously looking to see where Barry Ferguson is going to go in that area, and has been chasing shadows a little bit, and he hasn't seen too much possession, Kenny, but working very hard in the midfield to try and stop Rangers doing what they want.
There's Johansson, he's onside. Hasn't got eyes in the back of his head. Well, he may not be a prolific and established goal scorer. Johansson, there's a gift by Henry. And he couldn't expect it. McGrillen was very close on him.
Collins gave it there. I need a shout. I can't hear anything. I didn't realise McGrillen was coming in, but Paul, good anticipation there.
He is beginning to cut up this Airdrie defence on the left-hand side. And again, it's too strong. And away by John Martin. Ferguson. Well, the Russian international had to come back for that. He was quite clearly going to be in an offside position. Well, you don't see him breaking into smiles all that often. I've watched him through the years when he was with the Dutch national squad and indeed with PSV. The only time I saw him really getting ecstatic was in, you might recall it, in the World Cup when Holland pulled back 2 goals in Brazil and Otto won the game.
I think he was quite happy on Thursday night, Archie.
Well, you were lucky you were there. And Bronckhorst parted with it just a little bit too soon.
Good skill by Van Bronckhorst. Actually, Tony Bisbard didn't read what Van Bronckhorst was going to do there. That'll come in time. A good skill by Van Bronckhorst there.
Henry, again, several times he's been caught looking just a little bit casual. Scott Wilson. Not entirely sure how to come away with the ball, Scott Wilson, but here's Kinchelskas. On the outside, Johansson. This truly is his position, going wide. That's not a bad ball, and Ian Ferguson comes up, and I'm sure is absolutely delighted to get in there to finish that off, and you could see it coming all the way.
So Johansson has started that by coming deep, taking the ball. Kanchelskis put it on. He finds himself out in the wing. Great ball in. Fergie into the box. Nobody figured. Marvin Wilson never really went for the challenge. He just let Fergie run in. With Albert's going off, Fergie gets his chance and notches a great ball in, curling away from the goalkeeper. All Fergie has to do is get contact on it, and the goalkeeper can't stop that kind.
Yes, and he comes. Look at the almost kind of ruthless determination about the way he put that down from Martin, who was left totally exposed eventually. A good goal. It was always going to come from the moment it left the foot. Got to say about Ian Ferguson, there's always been this division of opinion about him, whether he should play much further forward. Remember his great cup final goal for St Mirren in the cup final. He does have that ability to finish.
I think he now prefers actually midfield. Actually, I've spoke to him, my goodness, lots of times, and I think he likes it in that midfield. He's always involved in there. He's a good passer of the ball, Fergie, and I think obviously his greatest attribute is, he really battles and challenges, and that's what you need by midfield players.
There's Kenny Black. A little push forward here, now Van Bronckhorst. Way down to Wallace, who's offside. And I think indeed the 2 Rangers players were offside. Johansson away to the right-hand side. He's rather disbelieving there, I think.
Well, initially I thought I'm quite disbelieving as well. Maybe, but okay, the linesman naturally has a better view than we have. Well, the replay just didn't give us 100% there, but it was a great ball by Bronckhorst, and Danny Wallace and Johansson, they always look to get in behind and will always cause you problems.
Well, he's looking for his 10th goal of the season, so I think there's a fair motivation there to get into double figures.
Sorry, I said Danny Wallace there already. Actually, it's Rodney. I think it'd be fair to say he's been the find of the season for Rangers, isn't it?
Nudged Forward there by Smith. Kenny Black. Well, a little bit annoyed about that. I wonder, is that a reputation? A bit of a jam in there. Double block, maybe?
Well, it was a 2 feet. I think, okay, Kenny has a little bit of a reputation, maybe the same as Fergie, but most definitely when you give him with 2 feet there, you're never going to get the decision from the referee. Kenny, maybe a little bit frustrated, but certainly a 2-footed tackle.
Held that beautifully, Johansson, allowing Perini to come up on him. Rangers' ability to get out of tight corners like that is one of the noticeable differences between the side we now see and last season. Henry wanted somebody to come towards him, and Charbonnier will be delighted to get a touch of the ball at least. Yes, free kick, and McGrillen has been told, don't let this man pose with the ball, get in hard.
Most definitely, and you know, if you're going to have a defending you think might take a little bit of time.
Here's Ferguson. Seemed to take it from the back there, and he's gone down. And he's certainly suffering. And Bedmar puts the ball out properly. And Ian Ferguson's challenge. I think he got something as he went past the player. And it does take a lot to stop him. Although, Alan, he has suffered a lot of injuries in his career.
Yeah, he has. Most definitely has. I think Ian's holding the back of his calf muscle there, presumably a little nick in the back of the calf, just if he's going to play the ball there. Sore place to get caught there. He'll be all right, but stings for a couple of minutes. Maybe go see here. Just gets caught in the back. Rangers managed to get the ball out to give him a little bit of treatment, but he has had a few injuries, Ian. But you know, he's just on the outskirts at the moment. Not a regular, but always a good man to have in your staff.
He isn't, but if you're going to have a squad that's going to take on all these games, you know, the budgeting fixture list of any prominent team in Europe, you've got to have a player like that.
Absolutely. Not only that, he's chipped in with a goal.
Ferguson, and perhaps not surprisingly, Barry Ferguson has been a little bit subdued. Look at Kenchelskis, he's going to let fly again, and that's a great save. He really did get behind that, and I think the very fact of this man bearing down on you like an express train would have been off-putting, but he stood up to it.
Well, that's what you expect from Kenchelskis. He's come deep, turned away, it's a great ball. Just before that, he came deep to take Austin McCann away from there. Great pace and great shot, and another fantastic save by the goalkeeper.
Age shove up one of them. Down there, just tucked away eventually.
Kenny Clark being nice to Airdrie there. There wasn't much in that, but great save. Just go back to that chance. Great pace by Kenchelskis. And a superb save again. He's done that 2 or 3 times now, John Martin. 750 games.
Charbonnier, there was a misjudgment between the captain and his goalkeeper. Really, that was a very delicate ball played into that no man's land there. You can see that, Alan. Charbonnier thought initially that Henry was going to pick this up. Yeah,
I think so, and then I think Henry's actually looking for Charbonnier to come out quicker. Like Steve Cooper doing what he's doing all game so far, keeping them under pressure. As a striker, he's quite entitled to go for that.
Wilson. Wallace. I think they'll be quite content to go in if it stays the way it is. 2 goals up at this stage, so again I think the brakes are slightly on here, although obviously Colin Henry saw the possibility of that run forward. Well, Dick Advocaat, I know, very good friend of his back in Holland, who was the coach of Ajax. Hans Krij, who has the highest opinion of Advocaat, and I have to say, said to advocate, you know, watching about coming to Scottish football, you know, the old business about is it the right kind of league for you? But now he's settled in, and I think by the attitude of the Rangers players and his from the moment he stepped into the stadium, clearly he's after this trophy. That's a very good ball by Henry. I think the goalkeeper might have judged it, yes. He didn't need to come out all that quickly there. He just waited for it on the edge of the box. Struck down there again by Steve Cooper, who's again rather disappeared out of the game. There's Perini. Charbonnier saw that coming. There's Charbonnier, who had all that much to do in the game, and I think it's always a test of a goalkeeper, Alan, when you know you're a spectator on a rather chilly day and you're called upon to make dramatic saves eventually. You might have that. Wonder what Dick Advocate will say, Alan, about well, he's answered it already about that rather dilatory way that Rangers occasionally lapse into in defence.
Well, they're obviously very slack there. They want to play around with the ball, and they would know that Airdrie's going to go and put them down under pressure. And he'll be looking for them to play the ball a little earlier than that. As you say, Archie, he didn't look particularly happy there, did he?
There's Vidmar doing a bit of pushing. And as you can see there, we're approaching half-time. Free kick will be taken by Sandy Stewart, again an ex-Heart signing originally. Kamara played all over. Started off live as a striker. Can they get the shot in? Real shrieks of expectation there from the Airdrie supporters below me here. Getting a glimpse of the Rangers goal. Played back across and nobody in there for Airdrie. When Broncos come across to defend, and this is the great quality of that Dutchman. He has good defensive instincts as well.
That's why he knows it's a very big reason he's playing in that part of the team. Got a bit of pace, can create goals, but also is a good defender.
We've got 3 minutes stoppage time, by the way, on top of this. Bit of pressure by Airdrie now. Forbes Johnson trying to get it going. Stewart. There's Johnson. Did that well enough. Too many of the moves breaking down just about here. Is this an improvement? McGrillen, that's a very good ball inside. No penalty kick. Ferguson coming across the tracks of the player. And a bit more fiery performance about Airdrie at this stage as we near half-time. And they desperately need a goal before they go in. Tucked back there by Ferguson and back to Charbonnier.
The Christmas come early if they got this one. You can see it's actually Ferguson that's gone in front of him and he's just fallen over. Certainly no way that's a penalty. But he'll be encouraged, Alan McDonald, by the finish they've made to this. It's the first time they've really had Rangers penned in and they can't get out. And certainly a little bit more encouragement, but they could have done with a goal there going into half-time.
Wilson caught out there, just a little bit too straightforward with the ball. It needed to be angled. There's only going to be one winner here. And I think Rangers, it is Rangers' ball in fact, a free kick on a late tackle.
I think Colin Henry knew that Paul McGrillen would come in with the shoulder. Remember, he's already done it once in the first half. I think Colin was waiting for him to come in and do exactly the same thing there. And I think the referee knew it as well, and that's why they gave Rangers a free kick in that instance.
Wallace really Wallace and Johansson together, just being left upfield with there's Scott Wilson taking no chances. I was saying about Johansson and Wallace being left upfield by Rangers, with occasionally Kanchelskis coming forward. Other than that, they seem to be settling back in midfield, containing Airdrie just before half-time. Might have been a touch on that. There was indeed. Free kick, corner kick. Charbonnier had it covered all the same. Going across there to take it, Kenny Black. A couple of goals he scored this season. He'll tuck it in with that left foot of his. Bad one though. Well, I think in the old Celtic Park that would have been away down London Road, but not in the new stadium.
I think it is anyway.
And there goes the half-time whistle, and Rangers, one has to say, comfortably in the lead by 2 goals to 0. I think after that opening goal, that opportunistic goal there by Johansson, they settled into play well within themselves. And then came that second goal, of course, by Ian Ferguson, coming on as a substitute, and delighted, I'm quite sure, to get back in and try to make a case for staying there. And Rangers go in at half-time, as I said, comfortably leading by 2 goals to 0.
Thanks, Archie. Yes, Rangers 2 ahead of Airdrie at half-time. We'll be looking back at the best of that first 45 minutes with Graham Spears and Bobby Williamson right after this shot.
Sclaff, and we just didn't get kicked up a divot. You have to say it's an excellent finish by Johansson. In the end, he was really congested by defenders. It was a terrible clear out. I actually didn't think Jimmy Sanderson was actually wanting John Martin to roll the ball to him for Jimmy Sanderson just to take it out, and Martin refused, and in a way there was no need for the whole thing to happen.
Yeah, and the indecision really has cost him the goal, Bobby.
Yeah, it's a shocking start for Airdrie. As I said, it's disappointing for Big John, but the defender's got to be aware. He's got to be goal side, just in case these kind of things happen. And he wasn't, and Jonathan Johansson's ran away from him, and as I said, finished it off tremendously well. Big John's kept him in the game, really. He's had a few good saves, and unfortunately they've conceded a second. And Rangers haven't conceded many goals this season at all, and it's going to be a tall order for Airdrie to get back in it.
Shortly after that, Graham, a bit of slackness in the Rangers defence, which allowed Alan Moore in to get a shot, and it was a rare effort for Airdrie in front of goal.
Yeah,
it really was.
It was really just a half chance, but at least he got his shot in. But it was one of the few kind of sights at goal Airdrie got. It was a good run by Alan Moore, but he was always leaning away from the ball when he was trying to shoot, so it'd go for the bar.
And Bobby, as you said, John Martin did redeem himself later on, particularly this save from Van Bronckhorst, which was quite outstanding.
That's right. I don't think Van Bronckhorst has got the connection on it he would have liked, but he's hit the target and he's made Big John save it, and it's bounced right in front of him and he's turned it away for a corner.
It could have destroyed his confidence, Graham, but it doesn't seem to have done.
Well, that's what I thought. It happened so early in the game, and you thought, gosh, you know, the guy would be filled with nerves, but it was a good save, and he's actually done okay. He's made a couple of saves, and he's recovered from the initial error.
Kenny Black's been marking
This afternoon, Martin Barry, he's had an exceptional start for the season. And as you say, he's got great awareness, great retouch there.
lovely work, flick there.
Bid Master at the target once again.
And Kanchelskis, he's seen a lot of the ball, Graham, and when we see this shot coming up here, another good save by John Martin in the Airdrie goal.
Yes, I mean, Kanchelskis, after the first 10-minute stage, began to tear down the right, found lots of space. He does have that burst of pace. I mean, I must admit, I still think Rangers paid an inflated fee for Kanchelskis. I don't think he's a £5.5 million winger, but in this game, at this level of play, he really has found lots of space, and he has got a great burst of pace.
And they lost Alberts. Ian Ferguson came on, and a dream start from Bobby. He scored the second goal.
Yeah, it's great for Fergie. He's had his problems in the past with injuries, but he finished it off well. He's got himself in there, and look, he's just passed the penalty spot and he's guided into the corner now. It's a great finish for Fergie.
One of the first things Ferguson did when he came on the pitch was inflict a foul, which was very unlike him. You rarely see Ian Ferguson do that when he first arrived.
Gets his tackles on.
Made his mark in the game.
He's made his mark in the game, and it's 2-0 at half-time. So let's take a quick break before we rejoin. Goals, 5 corners to Airdrie's 1. If I remember rightly, that corner for Airdrie came in first half injury time. Rangers 6 shots on target, including those 2 goals. 1 shot off target. Airdrie have managed 2 shots, both off target. And Bobby, really that is the
game. I mean, the thing that Rangers are very good at is, even when you have a lopsided match like this, the better team is always told to match the inferior team physically. And Rangers can do that. Rangers are a very strong physical side, so I can't see Airdrie coming back from this.
Okay, well that cheer you heard was not for Graham Spears. It's to signify the fact that the teams are coming back onto the pitch. So let's now rejoin our match commentators, Alan McInally, and first of all, Archie McPherson.
Thank you again, Jim. Well, as Mark Twain said, there are lies, damn lies in statistics, and you cannot get away from the harsh reality of what you showed there at half-time. The 2 goals and the indication of the pressure that Rangers had, or the possession that Rangers had, and the sheer harsh fact that they are a superior team to Airdrie, and it will require the veritable miracle to pull them back into something like parity. It looks beyond them at this stage. But it's a funny old game, as somebody once said, and I think Alan McInally, we all hope that there's still a great deal of competition in this game, although one suspects as Rangers start the second half, they might want to turn on a little bit of the style.
Well, I certainly think, you know, the way they've dominated the game, you know, if you're looking for a real top performance by Rangers, you think they would turn on the style, but I'm sure there's been a few words from Alec McDonald at half-time. A little bit much of the same, I would think, though, really. Just try and put Rangers under much pressure, force them to make a mistake. But the way the first half has gone, I expect Rangers to get another couple of goals because, you know, the gap in the clubs is massive, but out there today, the gap is also huge.
Henry. Tucked away there by Anthony Smith. I said about him very much an Airdrieonian. Started life as a winger, but like everybody else in football nowadays, has to be versatile like that man Johansson. Just touched it back there now. Purini. Kanchelskis tried to go after it, and then the ball goes out of play. That's an interesting point that Graham was making at half-time about Kanchelskis and his transfer value. I suppose Rangers at the end of the day have to say, well, if we can in effect buy or guarantee success in the league, maybe any price is worth paying.
Well, I suppose, I mean, £5 million for anybody is a lot of money, but if he's going to bring you pace down that right-hand side, most definitely experience, then I don't agree with Graham, because you're going to have to pay at least £5 million to get someone of that kind of quality. And so far, okay, he's been injured, he hasn't been there all the time, but I wonder if he'll change his mind if he has a solid run of games and a real, you know, he plays a big part in anything Rangers do, and so far today he has, and had not been 2 brilliant saves from John Martin, would have bagged a couple already.
Sandy Stewart. Somehow or other you feel that in the logic of a way a game goes, in a situation like this, Airdrie need to do something in the first 15 minutes of this match. And there's a lovely ball into, beautifully headed on there by Austin McCann. And that is their clearest chance of the game. Suddenly he sneaked in there, beating Purini to it. It was almost there.
Great ball by Paul McGrillen, and he got in front of Kanchelskis. You see here, Austin McCann definitely gets in front. That was unlucky because he could have easily beat Charbonnet at that far post. Paul McGrillen does really well here, turns a great ball in. McCann attacks the ball before Kanchelskis, and that was unlucky, and you almost called it right. They do have to do something in the first 15, and they almost did there.
Nicely pulled down there by McCann. Playing in roughly the same kind of position as Van Bronckhorst. Doing a lot of defending and coming forward as we saw there. Oh, it's an awful ending to that move. Now Van Bronckhorst, this could be dangerous. It's 3 against 2. Wallace going on the left-hand side, and the Dutchman delayed that far too long. An element of misunderstanding between himself and Wallace, picked up by Jimmy Sanderson. Tremendously loyal player, one of Alec McDonald's first signing and coming to Airdrie. Charbonnet. Henry trying that longer ball now. Johansson couldn't quite bring it down, and quite content at this stage to try to miss out midfield and hit the front runners. There by Jack. Perini well beaten there by McGrillen. Oh, I think it's an effective game in a way. He's been tenacious, not allowing Rangers players to settle whenever he's had that opportunity to go at them. Henry. Tempting Airdrie to come forward a little and try to get possession. Perini, well, they're getting slack again and given it away, picked up by Cooper, played it just a little bit square, and a good tackle eventually by Vidmar, and Ferguson comes away with it. He held his composure extremely well. Perini, now Johansson, Kanchelskis, and Airdrie player down at the moment as Rangers attack. And very fairly putting the ball out of play. There he is, as I was pointing out about McGrillen. He has been combative this afternoon. You know, he hasn't messed about. He's not going to be intimidated by the presence of the Rangers players. Maybe he's suffering a little as a result of that.
Yeah, he's working very hard. Just a couple of minutes ago, putting a beautiful cross as well, didn't he? That McCann almost scored with a header. Alan McDonald giving some instructions to his friend. I didn't actually see what happened to Paul McGillen. Could only assume that he's gone over on his ankle, trying to get in to put Rangers under pressure again. Well,
he scored famous goals in his time. Scored that goal, that winning goal for Falkirk against Celtic in the famous Scottish Cup semi-final game. Every support, still buoyant and optimistic. Time in the world for Wilson to contemplate the alternatives. Tries to get that to Wallace, that just a little bit too hard. Well, in actual fact, Johansson away to the left was in a very good position, probably a better position.
The way the second half has started, Archie, I mean, Rangers have certainly got the foot off the accelerator, and certainly Airdrie started quite well, and if Rangers stay like this, Airdrie will still have chances to get back into the game. They'll have to pick the pace up the way they did initially if they're going to put Airdrie away, because this will just suit Airdrie down to the ground. They will hurry and hassle all this 45 minutes.
Well, I remember a cup final that Airdrie played against Rangers, something similar. Rangers scored 2 quick goals. It was a game that was as entertaining as a visit to the dentist, by the way. It was an awful cup final, 92 I think it was. And it followed a pattern in which Rangers decided the game was won early on and gave up after that. And it was far from over because Airdrie scored a late goal and then it became pick the ball anywhere. Get inside to Sanderson, drives it in very well. That's a very good clearance indeed by Wilson with the outside of the foot. Ian Ferguson beaten by the bounce. And I think a free kick for that. And all credit to Airdrie for the way they're tussling away. They know it's going to be extremely difficult for them. But at least there's a degree of spirit and enthusiasm about the way they're approaching this. And that was, once again, McCann creeping in. And I don't think the Rangers coach will like this one little bit.
I can assure you, it's a decent ball in. You think Steve Cooper's going to get the flick on, and I probably think that's what Austin McCann thought as well. He took the chance to get in though, but the ball came through very quick. He just couldn't control the ball.
Good encouraging start to the second half by Airdrie. And they give the impression that all is not lost. That's exactly what this game required to make it competitive. There's Vidmar, neatly touched inside by Wilson, who got to it. On the outside, and Paul McGrillen, a very good run, but caught offside. And there's a little bit more variety about the way they're combining the moves.
Well, you've not seen that from Airdrie so far. A lovely ball played through. Paul McGrillen actually running right along the line, trying to get in behind Colin Henry. Unfortunately, just the wrong side of him. But most definitely better signs here from Airdrie. They've picked the pace up. And Rangers are far too slack and far too lackadaisical.
Ball inside there is taken away by Ferguson. It's Kanchelskis. Like I said earlier on, it doesn't matter what kind of European game you play, and something of the edge of your game is taken out of you, and especially if you played away from home. And there may be a little bit of a reaction creeping into Rangers play at this stage because of that.
Yeah, I wouldn't even go back as far as the great result they had, Archie. I just think they got this game won now, going through the motions, and Airdrie are the ones that are putting them under pressure, making Rangers make mistakes. Exactly like that. It's just slack play by Kanchelskis, and they give the ball back, and that will give Airdrie a little bit of confidence, think they can get into the game again.
Again back to pick that up. Nice little run down the left-hand side. Marvin Wilson is there with Perini. Kanu's had a great start to this half. That's a very good ball in, and Vidmar just heading the ball the way he was looking. Airdrie pulled one back down the way they are playing. They seem buoyant. Much more buoyant than Alec MacDonald is there. This bustling performance is upsetting this Rangers defence. Kenny Black again. Johansson comes back. They've left Wallace up front. That was a free kick, leg tackle there by Barry Ferguson, who has been quiet in this game throughout, almost throughout. He's had one or two lovely little touches, as we saw, but that's not the loveliest of them.
No, you certainly want to see him impose himself. He's a beautiful football player, good right and left foot. Just today, hasn't really got a grip of the game, although has showed some lovely touches. But that's for the simple reason, more often than not, he's been shadowed by Black and hasn't managed to be able to do anything.
By Ferguson, Vidmar on the run on the outside. Just trundling it over though. As it goes on, you certainly have to imagine that the Airdrie players will gain more and more confidence from this, but there's always the perpetual threat of the pace that Alan was talking about earlier on in the game, and the sudden counter-attack by Rangers, as they showed in Germany. Many of you may have seen their goals on television. Classically that. Free kick though. Johansson being picked off in the middle now by Jack, especially in the air. Whereas Johansson needs the right kind of service. Touching match there as Barry Ferguson just taken away again by Black. That was effective. Well, John Martin, I think he's been there as long as the Airdrie Cross itself.
Certainly 750 games, a long time, isn't it? I don't think that will be broken. And apart from his quite wicked mistake to give Rangers the lead, he's had a couple of fantastic saves to keep them in the game, really.
Forward there by Paul Jack. Beyond Kanchelskis, but just a little bit too hard. Yes, I think you're right about that little cameo we saw earlier on with Kanchelskis caught out in defence. He's not really a defensive player at all. He's very much a player in the opponent's half. Here he is, very deep again. I think I can anticipate this press conference after the game, if it finishes like this, with Big Advocate talking about this phase in the game for Rangers, where one or two of the players, I admit you're right, one or two may have thought the game was all over. Others are looking just a little bit jaded.
I just wonder whether he's maybe even thinking of bringing on Gordon Jury, possibly, for one of the top. See Scott Wilson going one way or the other. Steve Cooper definitely catches him there. And I just wonder whether maybe bring on for Wallace or Johansson. Both worked extremely hard on Thursday night, and I don't see them just too willing. There he is, getting warmed up. I think Dick must have heard me, because when you're going to work, this is the kind of day, really.
He did tell me he has a telepathic communication with you, Alan.
Well, he could do a lot worse than listening to me, Archie, I can assure you. Anyway, but what I was going to say was, this is the kind of game now, when you've got possession, you're putting a little bit, you've got to look for strikers to get, to be working, willing to take the diagonal runs into the corner.
McGrillen, lovely ball across there. Oh, what a miss there by the substitute. Forbes Johnson coming in on the right-hand side, and the better chances have fallen to Airdrie. And the way they're going on, they deserve a goal in this game, and that almost came.
What a great chance that is. Again, McGrillen really active, superb ball over. He's hoping somebody's in the middle. Somebody was in the middle. Forbes Johnson. He's got a head like a turtle, not headed the ball at all. He's just let it hit his head. A great ball from McGrillen. Really got to power that in past the goalkeeper. All he's done is let it hit him off his head, and it's gone past. That's probably the best chance.
Another
Most
free kick.
definitely.
And Airdrie certainly in command at this stage. That's two very good chances they've created for themselves. Distinctly a free kick. Colin Henry. A lot of pushing and jostling going on there. Kanchelskis. That's a beautiful ball forward, and Ferguson on the run to Wallace. This is the counter-attack I think Airdrie had to fear. And it goes, and it's too hard. Wasted ball eventually. We might be getting to this very much anticipated situation where Rangers are not playing at all well at this stage, but they have the ability to break like that.
Oh yes, they do. Of course they do. I'll tell you what was noticeable there, though. It's a good early ball from Fergie, but Van Bronckhorst, I think he's obviously feeling the pace as well. He would normally have burst in to try and support Rod Wallace round the outside or into the box, and he looked a little laboured getting into the box.
Well, he's had a little bit of a doubt about him. He didn't train with the others in Germany.
But he played very well on Thursday night, and I think to ask him to come out and do the same today.
That is the best save Charbonnier's made this afternoon. Saving a corner kick from that missed pass. You'll be glad of it. Kanchelskis. Fighting his way forward and brought down. Free kick was going to be a booking for the man I thought who's had the best of the first part of this half, Austin McCann.
Well, it's certainly been sandwiched in between there. Austin's trying to get back. He knows Kanchelskis got a bit of pace to go down the outside, and Austin, having been forward here, is trying to get back into his position. He's maybe a little bit unlucky. There's not a great deal in that, but the fact that he's taken him from behind has decided.
Ferguson, he was looked at by the trainer, by the way. Just went off very quickly and seemed to be okay. Dick Advocat just underneath us, yellow card for McCann, as we said. Dick Advocat just underneath us had turned around to his substitutes and talked to them again, but still no indication of any change. There he is, just behind on Bert Lingen, great youth coach, so many successes. Developing potential international players. It goes to McCann. Colin Henry, bit of a clash there with Ferguson coming in. Certainly seen the best of Airdrie in this second half. Ian Ferguson. Perini, and it looks as if Jury is coming on after all. Gordon Jury, who suffered that injury in the European game against PAOK. Terrible tackle which might have seriously injured his career. Well, he's been out for that couple of months. And it looks as if he's now just about to make a reappearance.
I thought they might make a change because things have gone pretty stale for Rangers.
Bonnier, and it was Wilson who took it off. I think Jury is about to make his entrance again. There's that clash up there. I think Scott Wilson's going to be all right. It is Johansson coming off. He's been asked to perform a difficult function, that youngster, because he's not primarily a forward central striker.
No, he's done well, and when he's been asked to, to fill in there, he's returned with a few goals, and not only that, a very important one today. But he's done really well. But glad to see Gordon Jury back in. I'm a real favourite of Gordon Jury. He works very hard for the team, unselfish, good goal scorer. And as I say, that might just bring a little bit of sharpness back into Rangers. Balls over the top, him chasing in and supporting him to get them back into this game, because Airdrie have had a great start in the second half.
There's Paul McGrillen, second time in about 10 minutes he's been caught offside like that. Maybe by the law of averages what will come off for him, because he is doing very well in sneaking in behind that Rangers defence. We're living at the moment in defence right on the margin, and Alan McDonald, yes,
can you lip read?
just on the verge of apoplexy. I was going to quote him there, but I thought maybe not. But he's been given renewed hope. Oh, it's still an onerous job for Airdrie. Henry tried to look away across toward Vidmar, then changed his mind about that. Well, clearly that was going to the defender. I don't think Kanchelskis had any chance of picking that up. Still at it. Accusing somebody of being slightly mental there. I think can get rather angry, Alec. High up and under. Look at Rod Wallace, left all in his own there. Wilson cleverly back with the head. And the two Rangers players were coming back there. Should emphasise the fact that a player coming back is usually given the benefit of the doubt. Here's Wallace sneaking in there towards Gordon Jury. Oh, and he was in very heavily. And that was a mistiming, and
I thought he was going to get in here until.
Well, that I think ought to be a booking.
Well, he certainly caught him, hasn't he? I'll tell you, I'm going to give full marks to Big John Martin here, because Gordon Jury's definitely caught him, and Big John's jumped straight up, shaking the hands. You see, you need to be daft to be a goalkeeper, but the big man certainly did Gordon Jury a favour there, because they could have really played on that.
I think that was eminently sensible, putting your body in front of a boot. Just played a little bit too much in front of Jury, by the way. Black's there, so Sanderson easily away now. Ferguson taking no chances, not waiting for Kanchelskis to come out. Could be Henry's ball again. Ferguson. Well, they can't put any cohesive movements together at the moment, Rangers. Losing out in midfield, where significantly Ferguson and Van Bronckhorst are not operating as effectively as they did the other night, and I think that is precisely the reason why Airdrie has so much of the ball in midfield.
Another reason is Rangers can't keep the ball. I mean, they're giving possession back to Airdrie all the time. The passing isn't as precise as it normally is, although I suppose they've got to put it down as well to Airdrie working so hard, not giving Rangers any space.
Well, it's a bad ball by Wallace again. Should be picked up by Wilson. Charbonnier at the back. Well, this man earned more from his paintings, his oil paintings, when he was with Auxerre 10 years ago than he did actually playing football. Looking at the Rembrandt of Scottish football, I suppose.
There's no oil paintings out there, I can assure you.
McGrillen, and Chelska's going back with him. Oh, that luckily came off the heel of Perini there. Now Wilson. There's no offside, and away goes Jury. He's got Wallace inside him. He's hit it too far ahead, and you could see he had overstretched himself. And I think the very presence of Sanderson beside him put him off.
Well, he's on for exactly the reason I said. They're looking to get in behind. It's a good ball in. Joe Gordon was definitely onside. They've let him go. He's looked up to see if there was in the inside. That touch there just lets him go. Sanderson does enough to get back. Good defending by Sanderson there.
Vidmar. And Broncos pushed right off the ball, and he does look tired. No question at all about that. I don't think he's taken the foot off the accelerator. I think he's run out of gas.
No, I said the last time, remember I said that when he looked to get in the box, and that's his game when the ball's played out to Wallace here, to get into that box of support, and he looked pretty laboured. I've got to say I'm not surprised. He's played well in the first half, put a lot of effort in Thursday, and he's really been a spectator in the start of the second half.
Referee webbing play on McGrillen, and well read there by Colin Henry. And a little touch, but not of any note. Bob Johnson again rising to that.
But ahead of that with a little bit of conviction, as he did the first chance, then the score would have been 2-1.
So just about 19 minutes of the game remaining. They need to go, though. Well, they've certainly matched Rangers, more than matched them, in their fitness and endeavour, their work rate, lacking a little bit of quality, I think, in obviously some crucial areas of the park, but amply compensated for by the way they've driven at Rangers in the second half. All to their credit. Kanchelskis not the best pass to take for a player like Kanchelskis of all people.
Well, it's pinged to him there, it's right on the line. He's coming back to try and keep it in play. Almost impossible. Another chance for Airdrie to get the ball onto big Stevie Cooper's head, get the runners off round about him.
Yes. Wallace chasing after that. There's the breakaway. And he's away, and he's going to do it. Yes, that's it. It's all over. Rod Wallace, and you felt all along, even though Rangers were going through a very dull phase indeed, they had that ability to do that, and Rod Wallace scores his 10th goal of the season.
Yeah, he did well there, Rod Wallace. All it is a hump away into safety from Colin Henry. But once Rod Wallace is on the ball, he shows great composure, great control. You see your eye on the ball, goalkeeper, good control, finishes nice with his left foot. Unfortunately, defenders can't do anything about it. And all of a sudden, when Rangers are going through a tricky time, Archie, they get a little break like that. Got to be said, great skill from Wallace. 3-0, and it's safe to say, Rangers are going to be in the final.
And you know, significantly for the rest of the season, and a warning to all the other sides, I think Rangers are going to be like that ability to pull themselves out of the doldrums with quick counter-attacks. There's a run again, and, well, Gordon Jury was certainly offside, but the man who ran forward there certainly wasn't, and that was Barry Ferguson.
Well, Barry Ferguson made a great run from deep there, and he's giving Gordon Jury offside, but Gordon Jury standing almost right next to the linesman. There's going to be another change. They're going to bring Arthur Newman on for Brand Brockhurst. They said he was a bit tired. And Arthur Newman, this will be a welcome sight for the Rangers fans.
So Arthur Newman, the man who played so well for Holland in the World Cup, certainly was sent off in that game against Argentina, but apart from that, that might have stopped it, but apart from that, He played right through the competition at the highest standard, and Rangers add a touch of class to their defence now. And there, shot by McGrillen, off balance. And a feeling of despondency there must be amongst the Airdrie players, having put out all that much effort and then be seen a breakaway with Rangers having done hardly anything in that second half yet. That, I think, now invulnerable lead.
Yeah, I think so, actually. I mean, they had played so well. They had a couple of half chances, then a very, very good chance from the header. They didn't manage to get it. And you've got a little bit of possession like that against Rangers, you're going to have to make them pay. But unfortunately, it just shows you they're all looking at the ball. Henry clears the ball long, they're caught sleeping at the back, and Rod Wallace makes them pay. And 3-0 now, I would think. I would be very, very surprised indeed if Airdrie can come back from this.
Well, that certainly perked Rangers up, there's no doubt about that. Arthur Newman away down the left-hand side. He might be going after this one. Ferguson just keeping the ball in play. There's Jury. Fighting back hard for it and a bit too hard. Tried away across that corner, didn't like it.
And Gordon's got his arm across him. He's got his arm too high there. I think there's a little bit 50-50 there. Paul Jack's gone to ground very quickly, but referee's given the benefit of the doubt.
Well, Rangers and Airdrie up to this game hadn't conceded a goal in this competition.
Certainly Airdrie can hold their head up high, even though, you know, they're massively outclassed today. I think the route to this semi-final has been quite magnificent, but I think the order they had today with a Rangers team absolutely flying was tall enough. But I think the gap has just been showed what it is today between the top of the division and into the first division.
Perini. Here's Kanchelskis. It's a quick one, it's to Gordon Jury, and almost pretty wonderful little triangular move that, swinging way from one side to the other, and perhaps deserving of the fourth goal.
Yeah, I think I'm not trying to work out whether Gordon actually tried to play Perini in there or not. I'm almost sure he did, because that's not header to goal. He tried to get Perini coming in late. At last we see Kanchelskis delivering a ball of quality from outside to win, and that was almost 4-0. And you get the feeling now, don't you, that Rangers all of a sudden have decided, all right, let's try and get another one.
Jury. Henry edging forward himself after Newman away in the leg, desperate to get his first touch of the ball. Here's Gordon Jury. There's Newman again. Touches it beautifully to Wallace, and that is in again. His 11th goal. It's now 4-0, and coming just slightly further back from him, from that beautiful little touch by Arthur Newman. And that's it, as you said, Alan, wanted a little bit of style to finish.
Yeah, well, all of a sudden Arthur Newman's into the play, and he brings his class in, he gets the ball, cuts inside, it's a beautiful run. I'll tell you what it does though, he makes his mind up. Wallace makes a great run across, and all he needs is the little bit of touch just to direct it. You can see it's a great run from Rod, a beautiful ball in from Arthur Newman. And thank you very much, number 4. Rod Wallace will be enjoying this now. I'm sure he'll be wanting his hat-trick. He just needs a little bit of touch to direct it. It's on goal, and that makes it number 4.
And interestingly enough, Arthur Newman can play left midfield as well, apart from playing left full back. In fact, some people think his defensive qualities aren't as strong as his attacking ones in that regard. Colin Henry, right into the rafters of this magnificent stadium.
Say something actually as well, even though they're, you know, well on top, Rangers, and Arthur Newman's been out and he's been introduced today, even just being involved in that little goal, that'll do his confidence no word of good, and he's back, isn't he? I'm sure Dick Advocat's very pleased about that.
You wonder what Tony Wiedma, who's standing very near him in the penalty area at the moment, is thinking about all this.
Keep your eye on Wiedma in case he tackles Newman, actually, will you?
Very frustrating this.
He's done well today as well,
yeah.
Paul McGrillen, he really
has.
has. He's worked so hard for Airdrie today, and unfortunately hasn't got really much success out of it, but he's put 2 great balls in for 2 headers that they had chances with.
Kenny Black again. High in the air by Sandy Stewart, couldn't really get hold of that at all. And you know, taking this League Cup into consideration, the internationals that players get involved in, as the crowd are beginning to celebrate, I don't think prematurely. Taking all these games into account, it's a tremendous drain on the resources of clubs. But you could tell from the way that Rangers, or the way the manager refused to substitute, not all that easily, that he wants these players to bind together as often as they can, get as many games together as often as they can. So it's going to be not all that much rest for this Rangers side. Whitmore neatly out. Now the Rangers support have taken up moral practice. They weren't so tuneful about 20 minutes ago.
No, they weren't. That's because Airdrie had done so well, but no, they certainly, I said they were maybe looking to get another one. They get a little big, Rangers, it must be said, for the 3rd goal, but all of a sudden they seem to drop for it again, don't they?
Looks like Gareth Evans may be warming up. Come on for Airdrie in the last 10 minutes of this game. Colin Henry edging away from a centre-back position and almost setting Vidmar off. There's Rod Wallace, rejuvenated as a player way back in that left midfield position. And a sense of relaxation through Rangers ranks. Now, I don't think they were actually getting into a complex about the way Airdrie were playing, but they were certainly in a rut. And Rod Wallace got them out of it. Here's Arthur Newman trying to go forward. May well be that Rangers might consider giving Newman a run with Vidmar behind him if Van Bronckhorst is suffering. They play that very important game against Motherwell on Wednesday.
Well, we just wait and see how Van Bronckhorst is. I think Airdrie are going to make that substitution now.
Substitution. There's Paul Jack, comes off. On comes Gareth Evans. Gareth has got pace as well. We've seen him a lot in Scottish football, especially with Hibs.
I think he won this competition with Hibs.
It did indeed, and I think a little bit too late for him to act Superman now. There he is. Scored many a good goal in his day. Gareth Evans, that's away. Gordon Jury running for it. Comes back to Purini. There's Wallace spreading out, but Purini deciding to go across the field. No pressure on Henry. Purini. And nobody, to notice that they're not chasing and harassing the Rangers players they were doing in the first part of this half. There's Wallace going in for that. Arthur Newman to the side. Wallace, and there's a corner kick. I think Newman might have gone for that himself.
Well, I thought he was going to have a pop. He's actually tried to get Rod back in the way they did for the 4th goal. The reason they can't, Arch, is because they're completely tired now, and they cannot possibly keep putting pressure on a team. I promise you, it's easier to have the ball and work than not to have it and chase it to try and get it. And the guys here, they have worked hard, but they've just nothing left.
Newman. steps it back again. Very one-footed Arthur Newman, of course, that left foot of his. But it's a very good one, and there's Jury! Nicely judged cross. As I said, he's got a very cultivated left foot, puts it in there.
I think Gordon should have done a lot better there, actually.
Yep.
I know they're certainly well into it. I think he probably thought that Stevie Cooper was going to win the header and Gordon wasn't going to get it, but half chance.
Going away, there's Newman again. Out to Jury. Looks full of running, Jury, all the same. He's up for it, no question about that. Here's Arthur Newman, wanted that ball played forward and is offside. I think the pass, the final pass, was just that little bit over-delayed.
Yeah, I thought actually Fergie should have played the ball a lot quicker than he did, because Arthur's made a run really early, a couple of seconds before he even got the ball there. But Ian just couldn't bring it under control to get the ball through to him.
Vidmar coming away himself. Decided to go on his own, he's being pulled back, the referee letting go on. Here's Wallace again. Well, the referee distinctly played advantage there. And I think it was a good decision. I mean, he did give Wallace the opportunity to pick it up.
I think even the referee thought that Wallace was going to be in a better position, but Danny's touch is
beautiful pass there. Vidmar in there. Well, Gordon Jury wanted a little bit more elevation than that. So, into the last 5 minutes, there will, of course, be added injury time. Remember, we're live at Easter Road on Tuesday evening when Hearts play St Johnstone. That should be a really good game. I watched St Johnstone yesterday, as Bobby knows, and they played very well, as Bobby Williamson gratefully admitted after the game. So that, I think, is going to be an excellent game live on Scottish on Tuesday. And the winners will play Rangers in the final, which again is live. And that's a free kick. And the yellow card is out there. Torini. Just getting it right in the back of the calf muscle. Well, you know, I'd like to see a club like Airdrie in an enlarged Premier Division. You know, we've got a marvellous little stadium up there. I think our league is far too tight, and we've got to incorporate these clubs now with all the investment they've put in to the game.
Well, I think they're now ready for it. Airdrie, aren't they? They have a new stadium. They have some very good players. There's no question that, you know, they could. I don't know against Rangers and the bigger clubs, but Celtic obviously in that one to hold their own. But they would certainly be a very difficult team to beat week in, week out. Airdrie, never mind in the cup.
Kanchelskis probably down the right-hand side. Might have been a hand used there, but at this stage, back by Black. Off Kanchelskis. And so it goes on. This competition has quite clearly been appraised by the Rangers management as important enough to take on this Airdrie team, put them away very early on, then get just a little bit too casual, and again combined with showing signs, I think, of the tremendous task that they were faced with in Germany, and all of that made it possible for an Airdrie comeback. There he is, the little general they call him now. A nice touch of humour, this man, as well. Black. Play by Purini. Gordon Jury should pick it up and does. He's got support by Wallace. Way in the left-hand side. There he is. Jury thundering through the middle for this. He's going to put it away. That was a glorious goal Welcome and finished by Gordon Jury, and a man coming back from injury cannot do it in a more accomplished way than that.
Couldn't be more happy for Gordon Jury. Really good pal of mine. He's had a real bad injury. He made the goal. Actually, good work by Rod Wallace, giving a bit of weight. A fantastic ball inside. Now all Gordon has to do is direct it into the net. And it's number 5. Good ball out there. You can see Rod. You can just see Gordon on the side of the picture. Just comes in now, busting a gut to get in there. Great ball. 5-0. Sorry, Alex, I got it right.
Well, you know,
I had to get that in there because he wanted to speak to me.
Well, don't say any more. It's lawyers.
I won't, I promise. No,
with.
tongue-in-cheek, naturally. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't want Airdrie to beat 5-0. I just thought that the gap was going to be awfully big. And having watched Rangers the Thursday night, they were so impressive, actually, that they're on song.
What a stark contrast there is between the first 20 minutes of this half and this emphatic Rangers win now. You wouldn't have guessed at that stage that Rangers would end up with 5 goals and probably even more. Here's Kanchelskis. Wants to put it in himself. There's Ian Ferguson. And now you get the sensation, perhaps sadly, that Airdrie defensive rank in the latter part of midfield is beginning to crumble.
Well, yeah, they've had to work very hard. Of course they have. But you're right, Archie, for a long time in the game, Airdrie had the best part of the second half. A little bit of more luck, they could have maybe even levelled it at 2 each, but Rangers got a little break to make it 3, and that's when they decided to just lift it a gear, and all of a sudden it's been the one-way traffic again.
I mentioned the breakaway Rangers goal, you know, that's always in them, despite how they've been playing. And the final whistle goes, it's all over, 5-0. And I think these Rangers supporters, who were largely quiet in the first 20 minutes of the second half, have seen something of the great quality of this Rangers side. They had that period when they seemed to go into the doldrums and then came through it with classic counter-attacking, an emphatic victory eventually, and the sad side of the Airdrie players in contrast to Arthur Newman there, who must be absolutely delighted with the way he's come through, producing delightful little touch for the goal and showing confidence. There he is, the Dutch international. It's all looking good for Rangers at the moment on the European front and the domestic front, and for Airdrie, a gallant effort, Alan.
It was most definitely a gallant effort by Airdrie. At one point with the early goal, you thought it might be the onslaught. They actually survived that, and if anything in the second half really came out and gave it their best shot. It wasn't enough, and I think the gap was just too big in the day.
And you can go back and have a chat with Alec McDonald now. The prognostication absolutely right. The final score, Rangers 5, Airdrie 0.
So there we have it, Rangers 5, Airdrie 0, as Archie said. Alan McInally called it correctly on Friday. I've got to go home in the same car as him. He's going to be insufferable tonight. I'll be back with Bobby Williamson and Graham Spears in a couple of minutes, so stay with us.
With the exception of us maybe making a mistake, Lionel didn't have a save to make, so it was important that we kept a clean sheet and we tried to play. You know, we didn't just want to lump the ball forward, and I know it's the fans will be patient sometimes, but I think today they witnessed at least the way we tried to play the game.
And there was quite a few quality goals there.
Yeah, some great goals. I don't know who will be trying to claim the best one in there, but it's important that we win and we win in style.
It's been a hectic week for Rangers, that European game midweek. Did you take your toll? Obviously at 5-0, not that much.
Well, no, I think maybe first period of the second half, just into the second period there, we sat back a wee bit and we looked a little bit jaded, but we managed to up a gear when we got our third goal, and yeah, we scored 5 good goals.
But you've made the first final of the season. You must be very happy with the way Rangers are shaping up.
Oh yeah. I mean, they've said this week. They spoke about how good or how well the team's been gelling. It does take time, and you know, the longer we play together, the better we'll get.
A word of consolation for Airdrie, they battled hard.
Yeah, they did, and Steve Cooper, I remember playing against him at Barnsley when I was at Blackburn Rovers about 10 years ago, so I wasn't an unknown company.
But thanks for joining us anyway.
Pleasure, thanks.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Colin Henry with Katrina Harvey. Katrina Harvey, rather. Sorry, Katrina. It's been a great week for Rangers. 3-0 against Hearts last week. 2-1 against Leverkusen, and then that 5-0 result today, taking them into the League Cup final.
Yeah, it was an awesome performance from Rangers, and Airdrie can keep their heads held up high because they'd have beaten most teams in Scotland today in with that performance. As I said, it's very daunting for the rest of the Scottish Premier League looking at that performance today.
But we said before the match, Graham, you know, what could Airdrie do to stop this roller coaster juggernaut, call it what you like, and obviously they didn't have the answers, but who can blame them?
No, and also, you know, we have to say in fairness that they had degrees of misfortune. They lost Alan Moore, they suffered you know, let's be honest, a bad goalkeeping error. And the third Rangers goal, the first Rod Wallace goal, I think was like a knifing for Airdrie. It really took the life out of them. At that stage, they were making a decent fight of the second half. But after the third goal went in, you know, there was no way back for them.
Yeah, Bobby, it was 2-0 at half-time. But Airdrie started well, and a minute into the second half, we saw a header from McCann, which could have pulled them back into the game.
That's right, they had a couple of headed chances just at the very start of the second half, and they unfortunately never hit the target with either. But if they could have got a goal then, it might have got them back into the game. But as I said, Rangers kind of weathered that wee storm there, and they got back on top of the game. And a hopeful ball up the park found its way right through for Rod Wallace to get around the keeper and score.
I don't think Charbonnier was all that keen on the way his defence was positioned there. They just looked a bit relaxed, didn't they?
I think he was wasting time, actually.
But right on the hour mark, Graham, Airdrie had another chance at that point. They were still only 2-0 down. McGrillen's cross for Forbes Johnson, and his header went a bit askew, didn't it?
This is what happens when you're a footballer and you study to become a lawyer instead of concentrating on football. He's got a law degree, Forbes Johnson. He gets right in the box. It's a great cross. McGrillen did very well, and he just didn't connect with it at all. It was a bad miss.
Would you have been having a go at him for maybe doing better there, Bobby?
The boy will be feeling sorry for himself just now. He'll be disappointed with that effort. He must have been able to see the whole goal and the ball at the same time, and he just guided it past the post. He'll be bitterly disappointed, the lad.
At that stage, Archie in commentary was suggesting that Rangers were a bit laid back and not taking it too seriously, and then of course, as you say, they went straight up the park and Wallace made it 3-0.
To be fair, I think Rangers did play well within themselves, and Airdrie allowed them that. With that early goal, they could take their foot off the pedal and actually pass the ball about. But this is a tremendous piece of finishing, and Rod Wallace shows great pace and getting away from the defence there. He's got frightening pace, a lad, and
it's such a strength for him, isn't it?
Yeah, it's excellent. Running at pace and managing to control the ball. Anthony Smith was right behind him, but you have to admire a striker that can sprint 30, 40 yards like that, chasing the ball, keeping control of it, rounding the keeper, and finishing so coolly. It was a fine goal.
And another man who will hopefully be running like that for Scotland in due course, Bobby, once he's fully fit, Gordon Durie. He's had another run out today, hasn't he? And that'll have done him a lot of good.
Tremendous for Gordon Durie. He was determined to get in the box, picked the ball up, went at the Airdrie defence, played it wide, and they carried his run on. He wanted to get in that box and get himself a goal. Here he's been a wee bit selfish and he's tried to find Perini. But maybe on our day he might have went for goal.
Gordon Durie, promising signs that he's on the way back today, Graham.
Yeah, he is. To be honest, I have never seen a more hard-working or industrious striker in my life than Gordon Durie. Sometimes he plays in a different way for Rangers than he does with Scotland. Sometimes you think with Scotland he has to spend so much energy and shed so much sweat that when it comes to rare opportunities in the box, he's got no balance or poise left because he's so knackered. But he's a great all-round striker, and he works so hard.
And the reason he came on, of course, Bobby, Van Bronckhorst, he was just flagging a little, wasn't he?
Yeah, Dick Advocat introduced his substitutes at the right time. He brought in Newman, who done very well as well. Had a great ball through for one of Rod Wallace's goals, and they needed the fresh legs at that stage in the game, I think, and that gave them impetus to actually stretch their lead.
I think I called that wrong there. I think Newman came on for Van Bronckhorst, didn't he? And he made an immediate effect, Graham, didn't he? And he set up the goal.
As Archie quite rightly said in commentary, he's played the left-sided midfield role for Holland in the past. So Rangers in effect had two overlapping left fullbacks. So they're not lacking in that regard.
Yeah, let's have a look at this goal which he set up, the goal for Rod Wallace. Arthur Newman here, nice little reverse pass.
Yes, it was very good box, and you wouldn't say Rod Wallace's finish was full-blooded there, but he got the ball just at the right angle, nudged it past John Martin.
And again, as Archie was saying in commentary, he's a bit one-sided on the left, but he played that ball through with his right foot.
Great weighted pass with his right foot, and a great movement for Rod Wallace. He's really getting behind Airdrie and really hurt them, and it's a good finish. He's put it past the keeper and it's in the back of the net.
Okay, let's go back down to the tunnel now, where Katrina is speaking to the Rangers manager, Dick Advocat.
Dick, a good Euro away win midweek and 5-0 here, a place in the final even. You must be delighted the way things are going.
Well, delighted with 5-0. I think it was a difficult game because everybody was expecting that we should win, but Airdrie played a good game. but you could see the difference with the goal scoring, and that was our advantage, and we deserved to win.
You mentioned the goal scoring there. There was some real class finishes.
Yes, there were some excellent goals, but I think the way we played, we can do much better than we showed today. But again, everybody was expecting that we should win, and we did. But still, I think we can play better.
Do you think maybe that was because you had the game so close to this one?
Yeah, well, everything is too close because we came back Friday morning 3 o'clock, and it's now Sunday afternoon, and they give everything Airdrie, so you can't lay back because otherwise they will score, and you have to concentrate. So that takes a lot of energy out of you. But still, we won.
And Gordon Judy, he came back into the scene and scored a cracking goal.
That was an excellent goal, a good goal on the break, and for him it was an important goal because after 10 weeks injury. So no, everything looks fine.
And you've made the first final of the season, so you must be happy.
Yes, I'm happy.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, he's happy, isn't he? Definitely. Yeah, he'll be glad to get that game out of the way, Bobby, because it's such a tough match on Thursday, and then he knew this was coming up. He'd be glad to get out of the way, and he can now concentrate on the league again, Europe, and the finals away in the distance.
That's right. They've got bigger prizes ahead of them on target, really. And he'll be delighted to get that game behind him, as you said, because Airdrie are not an easy team to play against. They work very hard for each other, and that was epitomised in the second half when Alex O'Donnell's team came back out and tried to get at Rangers. He actually put on an attacking player and took off a defensive player. Where else I've been thinking about putting a defensive player on and try and stop the flow of goals getting in.
Graham, with a little bit of prompting from Katrina there, he praised Gordon Jury's contribution, and before he scored he had a great chance with a header, if I remember correctly.
Yes. Yes, well, I mean, I think, as we said before, I think Dick Advocat has a real appreciation of what are regarded as traditional British qualities. You know, when I speak to Dick Advocat during the week at press conferences, it's perfectly obvious this guy is a great admirer of energy and commitment and industry and hard work. He quite often talks about Rangers playing in the opposition half of the field, closing down and working hard in the opposition part of the field. And if you speak to Dick Advocat, he quite often uses this kind of clenched fist. Yeah. It's obviously a universal sign of all managers. He means dig and hard work and commitment, and I think he appreciates all these things.
Okay, well, let's hear from the man who was on the receiving end of that 5-0 drubbing, Alex McDonald, speaking to Katrina.
Again, in the almost claustrophobic atmosphere of that tunnel again as they come out, in a rather twitchy atmosphere, even for the most experienced players. And of course, Rangers have this great advantage. All of these players have played at the highest level, internationals, cup finals. Whereas if we look at the